What's up, everybody? It's Carmine from Barmine Tech, and this week I worked on a pretty cool project. So this all started out by one of my buddies having a Claude subscription, or Anthropic's AI. With that, he gets trials that he could give out to other people so they could try it out and see if they like it. Last week, I kind of got into a little bit more of messing with the AI. I wanted to set up OpenClaw, which was something that was really interesting to me, and see how I could figure it out. While we were talking, we realized that we could have Claude, or through my OpenClaw, control a Proxmox server and manage it. So like any bad idea that I would have, and as a home labber, I decided to set up some extra gear that I have, set up OpenClaw and connect it to Claude, or through the Anthropic AI, and then from there give it access to my Proxmox server to manage it for me, so I could just chat it through a Discord bot, and it manages the entire server for me and does everything I ask. Is this a good idea? Probably not. Do I recommend doing it? Absolutely not. This is a test environment. I do not recommend doing this on your server. I don't recommend doing this in any sort of production. I don't really recommend doing this at all because, again, we're giving an AI full access to our server and we don't know the extent of what it's going to fully do. I did this as a test and I would not recommend doing this. So I just want to put that out there. So like I said, I wouldn't try this at home. This is purely going to be for today's demo, but I'm going to go over how I set this up. So let's get right into it. Alright, so like I said, this all started off by wanting to set up OpenClaw. So if you're not familiar, OpenClaw was a project used to integrate different AI models where you can pretty much make a chatbot of sorts. I'll go over to their site and we can take a quick look. So over here is OpenClaw, and it's, like I said, it's just pretty much a integration to make a chatbot. They give you, for most cases, a one-line command. So like if you're going to install it on Linux, you could do it right over here. They give you a couple other options, but the one line is probably the easiest way to do it. You could set up a quick Linux box and just run from there. And like I was saying, it runs locally on the machine, so you would pretty much make a VM or another computer to run it, and then from there you integrate with some sort of chat platform, and then you can chat with your AI model from there and either work with it to, run tasks or stuff like that, or you could take it a step further like I did and have it actually control your Proxmox server. So what I did was I made a Ubuntu machine. I gave it 2 cores, 4 gigs of RAM. It's going to vary based on what you want. This is somewhere around the recommended specs. They do suggest maybe giving it some more RAM, like 6 to 8 gigs. But I wanted to do this more as a test project, so that's where we kind of stood with this one. This was the one that I just set up to actually chat with me in Discord, but I'm going to show you the one that I actually set up in Proxmox to actually manage the Proxmox server. So this is the test environment that I built out. This is actually running off the B-Link computer that we worked with maybe about a month or so ago, because it already had Proxmox installed and it had hard drives and everything else. I did end up wiping the OS off and putting 8 back on it, as you can see up here. And I'm going to show off some of the tasks that I can do by using Claude to manage the server for me. So over here is some of the different VMs that I built out. This is actually the OpenClaw VM, so you can see again, similarly, I have 4 gigs of memory, 2 cores, and only needs about 32 gigs of memory. This varies depending on what you really need, but I found that this is kind of a good standing point for what I needed. So you can see over here, I have a Discord channel that I can add the bot, and from there I can have it work on stuff, so I can do stuff like this. How is the server looking? And it's going to react to my message. It's going to think, and I've noticed that the bot really likes the reactions, and it seems to be the process. So like it does the thinking emoji, then it does the type emoji when it goes back to typing, and then from there it should give me an output. Over here you can see it's telling me that it checked the system health and everything's all good. It's even telling me my VMs that I have that are running. And if we come over here, we can see, yep, everything looks pretty healthy, so it is accurate. Now, to set this bot up, it's pretty simple. You just need to go into the Discord developer tab. So you would just come into here, and then you would sign in with your Discord account, and then from there be able to start making a new application. I'm not going to go through this whole process today. It is pretty simple, though. OpenClaw does have a guide, and there is a really good video that I used that I'm actually going to drop down below that shows you how to set all this up. Super simple, and get OpenClaw integrated with Discord. Of course, you could use Telegram and a bunch of other different messaging channels, but I prefer to use Discord. It's a little bit easier. I already have it everywhere, so I figured I'd run with this. So now, at this point, you might really be wondering how this works and how well it works. So I'm going to show you right now. We're going to go through a quick demo of what I've been able to do of having Claude manage my Proxmox server for me. Now, the only thing that I've done in here is I've named the server, I installed the OS, and I made this Claude VM over here. Other than that, everything else has been from Claude managing it. I had it adjust the repositories for the update. I had it run system updates. I had it make this VM and this VM, which over here is a Grafana with InfluxDB, and then over here is another one. I forget what it used because it made it not me to keep a wiki of what's done. So if I bring this back up, I'm going to ask it to give me a rundown of what's done so far to this server. And it's going to run through, and you can see over here it reacts again with looking that it saw my message. Now it's thinking, and hopefully it's going to give us a rundown of what it's done. And we can go through over here. So here's just a quick Discord message. So it connected through the API, which I did try originally. It didn't work fully. It needed a little bit more access. So it gave me an SSH key, and it was able to connect via SSH. It updated the repositories like I just mentioned. I also had it remove the nag box. It set up IP forwarding because I did have it build out a service and I wasn't able to connect. So this is where I kind of am a little concerned with this project. I realized that I told it to give it an IP that was already leased out. After a couple attempts, it realized that that IP was already leased out. I don't know if it just realized that from troubleshooting because it knows that happens sometimes, or if it scanned my network and now it has a scan list of my whole network. I don't really know, but it made what I was trying to do work. From there, I wanted to make a monitoring solution, so that's where this came from. So it deployed an LXC container running with Ubuntu, it installed InfluxDB and Grafana, it configured the Proxmox server to push all the metrics out to the Grafana dashboard, and over here you can see it actually references where that IP was already leased out. I then had it write up some documentation. There you go. So it used DocuWiki, so that was what it used to make the documentation. It wrote out the documentation pages, and then yesterday I had it show a quick demo to one of my friends at work. Now, it does seem to have a good memory of everything that it's done, but I also had it write a wiki to explain it all. So I wanted to remind me of how to log in, and you can see over here it gave me the login info, so we're going to go over there and check out what it's written up so far. So over here is a Grafana dashboard that I actually had Claude make itself for me. I didn't do any of this work. It builds out this LXC container over here, which handles Grafana and InfluxDB like it mentioned, and I mentioned, and then it suggested what dashboard to use. So it told me the dashboard ID number to use, and I just set that up. I then said to it, look, we're not getting any data, and it corrected all the sources and whatever else had to be done on the Proxmox server to actually get the data into this Grafana dashboard, and it set this all up so it worked for me. Our next thing was this documentation wiki that I mentioned before. So over here, I actually had it write this all up, and I'm not sure if it was able to just do this through SSH or how else it did it. It wrote all this documentation itself, so you can see it broke it into a couple of different tabs. It gives us the initial configuration that it did. So it goes through how it changed the repositories, it did the updates, it removed the nag box, it created a couple LXC containers. You can see actually it's not up to date, so I wonder if I could have it update this. So I'm going to tell it to update the documentation. It's going to run through this again, and we're going to see what it does. So you can see over here it says it updated the documentation, and if I drag this over and I refresh this, you can see it did, and here's the new information for the other LXC container it added. When I had it make the LXC containers, I told it what I was looking for. I said I wanted an Ubuntu OS, I wanted a certain IP, and what password to give it, and it worked from there. So over here you can see it has updated documentation for what the LXC containers are. I have the information for the monitoring stack, so this is actually how it set up the InfluxDB and Grafana. And then over here I have a running list of network configurations. So this wasn't anything that I specified it to do. I just said to write some running documentation for the server, and this is how it did it. This was just a cool way to have it kind of write some notes of what it was doing, so I have a little bit of a better idea. Now, a real test that we're going to do is I installed the server on Proxmox VE8, and I want to see how it does the upgrade to 9. So we're going to run that right now and see how it works. I'm feeling pretty confident that it should work. I don't enjoy doing these big version changes like 8 to 9. I did one on my server and it broke and it was a whole hassle. So I'm going to make Claude do it for me. So you can see over here, I'm just prompting it over here that the server's currently on 8 and I'd like to go to 9, and I'm asking if it could take care of it for me. I'm going to send it over, and here we go again. It's looking, it's thinking, and it's going to respond to me saying hopefully that it can. I'm intrigued that it gave me the zap reaction, so I wonder what it's doing. So it looks like it's a little confused because it doesn't actually see updates available inside Proxmox, so it's going to be an in-place upgrade. So I wonder if I give it the documentation, if it can follow it. So it took a little bit of time and Claude had to think about it, but you can see it actually says it ran through all the steps and installed the latest PVE, and it's ready for a reboot. So I'm going to tell it to reboot. And there we go, it's thinking again, and it should reboot. And I have the server next to me, so I'm going to look to see if it reboots. So the server just beeped that it rebooted, so we're going to come over here and it should be reloading into Proxmox. You can see over here that it actually updated. However, it didn't turn on the claw machine, which is fine. I wonder because I don't have it set to turn on. Yeah, it's not set to start at boot. So if I'm just going to enable that and then we'll turn this VM back on, then everything should be working. Like I said, I just restarted the OpenClaw machine and I just want Claude to go through and actually update our documentation now. So I'm going to see if it can, and it looks like it did. So let's go over to the documentation, and you can see actually, it gave it a little bit more information over here. We have a current infrastructure, and then over here we have our change log. So it's already going through and making more changes. So you can see this really has a lot of capabilities, and you can even go in here, and let's do this. So I just prompted it to come over here and set up a new Ubuntu machine, and I gave it a little bit of a task of it being Ubuntu 20 instead of one of the normal ones. So it's going to have to actually go out and kind of take a look for that. And I'm intrigued how it's going to do it. So you can see over here it's typing, it's thinking. And over here we should start to see some statuses of what it's doing, because you can see in the changelog like when it's downloading and setting up and starting VMs. So I'm going to go through this process and see what it does. So you can see over here it actually is already creating the VM. So I wonder if it already had the ISO on here. So you can see it actually downloaded the ISO for me. So it downloaded over here today, just now. It started the VM and it just actually started it as well. And if I come back over here, it looks like it's all set to go. And if I come back over here, I'm going to guess that we're going to be on the setup menu. So yeah, so you can see over here, it's loading into Ubuntu 20. A little bit of an older VM, but it was just a quick test to kind of see what we could do with this. So now that we've seen Claude make us something on our server that's kind of useful but more of a utility, I want to see it do something a little bit more fun. So I'm going to have it make us a Minecraft server and see if it can figure it out and get it working. So I'm going to go prompt it in the Discord chat and see what it can do. So you can see over here, I just wrote it a prompt. I just want it to set up a Java Minecraft server to run on Ubuntu. I don't need it too large, just enough for a few players to play vanilla Minecraft. I'm going to hit send. And you can see it's looking, it's thinking. I'm going to give it a little bit of time because I feel like this is going to be a tricky one. And we're going to see what it comes back with, if it could do it or not. So you can see it came back and I didn't specify what it wants. So I'm going to come back and tell it to make a new VM. Came back, I told it what I'm looking for so it can make a new VM for it. I should have specified it. I wasn't, specific enough. But let's see what it comes back with, any more questions or not. It hasn't come back with anything yet, but you can see that it did build 105 and it just named it Minecraft. It looks like it's still working back here, but you can see over here it started a console. It actually looks like there's a couple warnings. So we already have some issues, but I bet Claude will figure it out. I'm going to let this keep going and we'll come back when we have some sort of outcome from it. Okay, so it just came back and it gave me some information and it looks like it actually was able to get it all set up. Like I said, Minecraft is over here. It is running. And according to Claude, it's all set to run and play. So I'm going to open up Minecraft and I'm going to see if we can get into the server and actually play it. It says the world's generated, so let's go see. Hopefully the audio isn't too loud, but we're going to see. We're going to do 184. That's what it said the server's running on. And we're going to connect. Now keep in mind this is running on an LXC container, so hopefully it does run. Wow. It's joining the world. So it actually did work. It looks like it was able to build it. Wow, pretty interesting spawn right here on top of a tree. We're not getting super far render, and I can see I have the Proxmox console up on the right, and I can see that the CPU is screaming right now, and we can see by basically not being able to render very far. So I could tell it's not running great, but Claude did build this out and set all this up for us. I didn't do any kind of interaction. It installed Java, installed Minecraft, it made it all work, and here we are. Just to let Claude know how it did. I told it did good, and it gave me suggestions to bump the server up if I want to give it more resources so it's able to play a little bit better if I actually did want to run this as a full-time server. So it was a little curious George to see how Claude is able to get into the actual LXC container to set up Minecraft and the other services that we've been doing. And I kind of figured that Proxmox had something like this. I haven't used it, But I know in Docker you could do stuff like this where you can get a shell into the Docker container, and it looks like it could just run this command and push bash commands through the Proxmox CLI into the containers, and that's how I was able to set up the documentation and the Minecraft server and so on. If you remember earlier, I was a little concerned about like lateral movement between the server, and I guess this kind of answers it, sort of. I bet if it really wanted to, it can actually move laterally to other servers. If you're not familiar, lateral movement is just when something's kind of able to move from one host to another. So the idea is like if an attacker gets in, they're able to move from one misconfigured server to another and so on from there. That's lateral movement. It's how that works. So I guess to an extent, Claude is able to laterally move, but hopefully it's limited within the Proxmox server itself. Realistically, it doesn't have SSH access anywhere else because I don't have any credentials for it. But that is interesting and really cool to see that Claude could set up a Minecraft server for us. I bet there's more things that it can build, but these are just some quick demos that I thought of during this video. So like I said, this is not a good idea in any sorts. This isn't something that I would recommend it to do, but this was something that I wanted to work on in my test environment and see how it would work out. I had the demo of Anthropic's AI, and I figured why not use it a little bit and see what I could really do with it. Like I said, there was a little bit of concerns because originally I was going to do this over the API that Proxmox has, and it was able to connect. However, we fell into limitations, and that's where I ended up having to just give it SSH access in, which really I'm okay with. It's a test box. There's nothing else on it. Hopefully it doesn't move laterally across my network, but I guess I'll find out in the future. But this was how I let Claude manage my server for me. It's been a few days, and I haven't had any issues, and as you can see, it works pretty well. I haven't given it any tests that were super complicated because there really isn't a ton that's super complicated. I haven't broken anything on the server. I haven't done anything that would cause a ton of issues yet, but I don't plan to have that in a working environment either, so I don't really see a really need for that just yet. This has been a fun little project, and I might try to do more of these in the future, so if you have any other out there projects that you could think of, comment them down below, and I'll try working on those as well to see what I could do. But this is how I let Claude manage my Proxmox server for me. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and as my buddy Dom would say, hack till it hurts.